Speaking of so stupid and something we're going to enjoy every second of, and I'm being facetious because there's no fucking way. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this really odd thumbnail. This is the inaugural episode of Don Jr.'s podcast called Triggered. And it even says Triggered episode 1. Exciting. And also he's hawking gold. So let's see. Add a comment. You suck. I think that'll work. Anyways, this is his head superimposed on his dad's fucking body, which makes it look like teeny tiny hands running the family. Why is his face photoshopped on his dad? I don't know. That's really fucked up. No idea. And the name of it is Triggered, even though the point of his thing is that he's going to trigger the libs, right? It's like somebody who's like known for owning the libs, naming their show Pwned. It's so fucking odd. Yeah. Anyways, and if I may, I think Ron Filipowski put this up. I didn't get a chance. I did have a chance, but I didn't watch it on purpose because I wanted to watch it with you guys. But Ron Filipowski, there he is. Bless his heart. He had a clip of Don Jr. touting his show, and apparently he said there's like a hot mic moment. Let's see if I can find this real quick, because there's so much shit in here. It's hilarious. The panic. Nick Fuentes got kicked off again. He was on for like 8 minutes. This might be soup. Getting close. I'll find it. Hang out. Oh, this shit. Hold on. Almost. I'm just going to slide this over with you. By the way, look who's back on fucking what's his ass's thing. I mean, like, this is the same nonsense. Same shit. I thought I was going to be killed. Get the fuck out of here. Oh yeah, she had heart disease from chronic high blood pressure. That's what killed her. That was, by the way, a comorbidity, and they're like, she didn't die of COVID. She died of a heart attack. Meanwhile, is this the Sweating Jr. about to give us by having a bit of a weird hot mic moment? Here it is. So this is
the insanity going on.
Hold on, guys. Here we go. Hi guys. Hey guys. Here we go. This is. I want to see what he's talking about. He says, Sweating Jr. about to go live for his debut podcast tonight, having a bit of a weird hot mic moment on the promo.
Your long form, and man, God knows there's a lot to talk about with the insanity going on this week. So go check it out. Now it's 7 minutes live on Rumble. Go click the link in my bio. It'll take you right there, and we'll have some fun. Be good, guys.
Don, do you want a water?
Yeah. Your long form, and
Don, do you want a water? Yeah. He's fine. He's got whatever Diamond has. He's fine. All right, here we go. This is it. Oh, and a countdown, just like, all right. He's been watching my pro streams to know how to do it. There's the how.
People have been deplatformed.
Oh God, hold on.
For the lies and the nonsense that's been
the lies and nonsense and the nonsense and the guys and the nonsense. Hold on. Here. Triggered with Donald Trump Jr. Bow, wow, wow, now. Why do they not have? There's no theme song. Triggered like that. How come you can't even? There's literally no sound.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to Triggered with Don Jr.
Hey, guys, thank you very much. That's not a real plant, guys.
I'm so excited to be here with you guys. This is unique to me,
Actually, strangely enough, probably the first time I've been actually nervous in a long time.
First of all, podcasts are not unique to him. As a matter of fact, he might singularly be proof that podcasts have jumped the shark.
It's just so different. I'm used to kind of getting up on a stage with a mic and talking to...
Yeah, he's more of a live kind of a guy, you know what I mean? Just, I'm riffing, I'm doing my thing, and obviously no one will sit for a fucking podcast from me, so I'm alone in this tiny little room. This looks like cable access. I'm just saying. Dude's supposedly a fucking billionaire. He's launching a podcast, and the motherfucker...
10, 15,000 people,
or 1,500, 800, 300, I don't know, a wedding that your dad crashes.
It's not a problem, but we're at a unique place in our country, something that's probably never happened before, or perhaps it's always been happening and we haven't been exposed to it as much. So
Yes, it's always been like this. You've always been here, Mr. Torrance. You were the caretaker here, Mr. Grady. You chopped up your wife and daughters with an axe. And the sons of failed one-term presidents have always had post-presidency podcasts.
Super psyched to be doing this.
Bro, come on. We're eventually going to have a set. I've been talking to the Daily Wire. I saw the money they offered Steven Crowder, and I was like, fuck, dude, get me in there. Blaze.
On a platform. We're here, again,
on a platform.
Because we're at a crossroads. I'm on Rumble because it's one of the few platforms that's out there that...
Yes, it is out there. It's way out there. It's not as out there as BitChute, but it's on the fringe.
Hasn't...
Yeah, he looks like he's beside one fern with Zach Galifianakis.
Censored people. They actually believe in what so many of you, all of my followers, believe in, that notion of free speech.
Okay, look, I know I have people who follow me on Twitch and on Twitter specifically, but I don't call you guys followers. This douchebag actually thinks he has followers. Like real, not just people who click follow, but actual
notion of freedom that's so important to America. We've seen what happens on the other platforms. You know, every one of you knows someone that's been in Facebook jail, oftentimes for telling the truth, probably most of the time. You know, the CDC and others.
This is getting good. This is solid. It's and this episode's only an hour and a half long. There is no fucking way we're sticking this out. But
owe all of your conspiracy friends a serious apology.
No, they don't. No, there were no adrenochrome factories under the fucking White House, unless your dad put them in, and that's why those children were freed at the end of his term and never before. And why wouldn't he free him at the beginning? That would be my first question for you. If there were children in adrenochrome factories that were, I guess, getting ready for Hillary and had been put there by the Biden White House, why'd your dad leave them there all 4 years?
For the lies and the nonsense that's been spread.
Lies and nonsense and nonsense. Did I say nonsense? I've said nonsense. Nonsense is a sticking word. Nonsense.
People ask, hey, Don, why aren't you on YouTube? Because I don't want to...
Yeah, they totally do. Hey, Don, why aren't you on YouTube? You know, doing makeup tutorials or like a masculinity video on barbecue.
Build up a following, take the time to do that, get to know you guys, and wake up one morning and they cancel me because I'm upset that a dude beat chicks in sports. I don't find that to be the great, incredible accomplishment of the left. So I'm excited to support a platform that actually stands.
Okay, so Rumble's in partnership with Truth Social, and he just can put a show on. Who gives a shit? Partnering? Get fucked. You're just posting it here, asshole. You won't get any traction anywhere else.
Stands for and believes the things that I believe.
Which are?
Rumble's been unique in that perspective.
No, it isn't. BitChute and fucking what's that other one? Something like Star. Blah.
Will be the only platform that didn't throw Donald Trump off that I can think of.
Look at that. Right at his notes. He's
the only one that believed in the ability for even the president of the United States to have free speech. I know that's a hard concept to understand, that maybe the leader of the free world should be able to have.
He's not alone in this room. There's probably 3 people sitting there, including Kimberly, I think. However, this is a dude who is very uncomfortable talking like this in a rhetorical format to a camera, and I think that's my favorite thing about it so far.
Have a platform to say what he's thinking, but if you've been watching for the last few years, you understand that that's not the case.
No, I don't. What's not the case?
So I'm excited to be able to be here to talk.
Yes, I'm sure you're excited to be able to get into a car and drive to your, I don't know, garage.
Talk about those things, to talk about the stories that other people.
Yeah, talk about the stories. Why tell a story when you can just talk about the story? You know what? How about this? Talk around the story. That's even more engaging.
People aren't willing to talk about, aren't able to talk about.
Because they haven't heard the story. They've just heard people talk about the story, but around the story.
Have been bought and paid for to make sure they don't talk about.
Yeah, or don't even remember that they talked about it already and are saying the same thing over and over again. I mean, right there, that's 3 good reasons why.
And I'm also probably the guy that'll take it a little bit further than most.
Well, I'll wear my chastity belt. I unlike your dad, you're not a star, so I think some may object.
What's really interesting is we live in a
I'll be the judge of that.
Kind of an interesting time in that.
Yeah, it is interesting that we kind of live in an interesting time. It's kind of interesting, and that the Chinese say, "May you live in interesting times," and it's interesting that they would think that that's interesting.
It's been so ridiculous.
Yes, it's interesting that it's been so ridiculous. I agree.
So extreme.
Extremely ridiculous. You're right. This show that you're doing right now is extremely ridiculous. Please continue.
Level of censorship, the way people have been deplatformed. And I'm not just even talking about big tech. You know,
no, of course not. You're on Rumble. That's not that you couldn't legally call it big tech.
Again, everyone has their friend that's been in Facebook jail or demonetized from YouTube. It's been happening.
You know what I like is that you inherited one of your dad's greatest traits, which is saying something and then starting at the top and saying the same shit again to fill time. It's bold, and I'm glad that someone is carrying on the tradition.
And yet, we're actually at a point where I truly believe conservatives are actually winning the culture wars for the first time in recent history.
And you're here to stop that. All right. Apparently.
Now, you got to understand, that's from a lens of what we're up against, right?
Yes, and that's from a lens on a Sony camera.
We are up against big tech, a juggernaut, a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
And you're doing it from a cable access studio on Rumble. Good luck.
An industry that is decided that they are going to be all in to be the marketing department of the radical left. We'll talk about that a little bit because I'll get into the...
Yeah, well, I mean, you know Elon Musk better than I don't know if this is it's a backhanded plan that he's got.
News, and I'll get in my take. For me, I think I have a unique...
Oh, for fuck's sake. Stop selling someone on the show when you're already doing the fucking show. Do the goddamn show. Look, I know I don't pitch my shit the way I should, and people should like and subscribe and give a thumbs up and blah, blah, blah. But for fuck's sake, get on with it. This is a 90-minute fucking episode because the first half hour is him, like, telling you why he's doing the episode. Holy fuck. Is it just him? Hold on. I'm just chit-chatting through this. Like, here, I'm gonna scroll through because there's no fucking way. Does he have a guest? Half hour him yammering at camera. 42 minutes. Does she come and try to, like, someone come and try to... Oh, okay, so he's got a clip at least. He's going to play a clip from the World Economic Forum. Of course he is, because Can I just say for the record, Glenn Beck is not a billionaire. He's a millionaire. He's a multimillionaire, no doubt. And his studio is nothing to sneeze at. I'm very, very jealous. You guys know this. It's tens of thousands of dollars, if not a couple $100,000 worth of gear and stuff, but not much more than that. These days, you can buy, 30 TVs at Best Buy, stack them and mount them around the walls and throw a fucking logo on them. And for all practical purposes, you've got that studio. This asshole apparently is the son of a billionaire. And look at this shit. What the a plastic plant, a shitty little cable access chair, and his mic is, they're using the mic off the camera. They have to. There's got to be a shotgun on there that they're just pointing at him, because that, I don't know where the fuck that Shure mic is pointed. It's like pointed at his fucking right sideburn.
Kid meltdown. So I can't tell which is worse, that or what's going on in the world, but as a dad in that spot, perhaps it was. So, but let's talk about one last thing before we get into the kind of the Q&A component. Let's talk about what's going on.
Oh my God, he's already at the Q&A. 47 minutes of him yammering about whatever the fuck.
The World Economic Forum in Davos. You know the billionaires that tell you.
Yeah, yeah, obviously your dad's not one, but I'm familiar.
You should be eating bugs.
No, I've never met a billionaire that tells me I should be eating bugs. I've eaten bugs before.
Well, they eat, probably $1,000 meals.
You wouldn't know, because you've never been around a billionaire. Not a real one, anyways.
The people who travel to Davos.
By the way, his dad's supposed to be a billionaire, and he eats fucking fish delights from
Davos, Switzerland, a beautiful ski resort in the Swiss Alps.
I hear. I mean,
their G4s and G5s. The G4s are for the low rollers there. The G5s and the globals for the big boys.
The G5s and the globals for the big boys.
Probably two people to a plane, printing up a carbon footprint that whoever's watching this, couldn't imagine in their lifetimes. But, you're the one.
But you could buy the carbon offsets for the flights themselves. You can do that. As a matter of fact, it is literally that model that keeps Tesla afloat.
Ones that need to stop. You're the ones that can't do any of these things. They want to implement these rules. They want to become a de facto.
Oh my God! Fucking stop with the diatribe. I don't care. Is he? Oh my God! He interviews his own fucking girlfriend, or does she interview him? Is this like a Ted Cruz fucking thing? Oh my God! Stop with the marzipan. I have to believe there are ways to do filler tastefully. I have to.
Yes, because do you think I could pay someone to post the crap that I stick up there? But, maybe we'll have to do memes of the week, because the reality is, honestly, I think humor, a picture says 1,000 words. I think we can drive home some of the narrative and the points with these things.
Yes, a picture says 1,000 words. So why don't I just post some memes and I don't have to do a whole fucking hour-and-a-half podcast that no one is going to watch?
Maybe some of the ones that I know I can't actually post on other platforms. I'd love to.
You mean the ones you steal from other people? This motherfucker doesn't make up his own memes.
To be able to do that, but I know what happens. I've been, fact-checked for having an opinion.
No, you haven't. No one ever fact-checks a fucking opinion. Nobody. The only time people would fact-check your opinion is if they know for a fact you have an alternate opinion.
I've been thrown off platforms for being right eventually, knowing that I was right because I was actually in the room, but that wasn't what the narrative was saying.
Again, citation needed.
I'm
not going to be able to get through this to where she fucking comes on the show.
Never ends. We do still.
Yeah, just like this fucking podcast opening episode. Jesus.
Have to engage there. We can't just cede that battlefield to the other side. But
no, never give up the power of the meme. Never be afraid to be a meme lord when you've got a chance to meme your way out of as an adult would do. Fucking, why don't you just GIF? Why even bother?
I want to make sure that we can also get to that next level. So hopefully this.
Totally. I feel like I'm already at the next level, or the fourth level of hell, I think.
Here on Rumble, on Locals. Hopefully that can be the place that we do that. So with that,
You are doing it there, dummy. Do it.
I'm going to bring in my boss, Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Thank you, baby.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, baby.
Was that okay?
I absolutely love it.
It was like an hour rant.
All right. She's quiet. Why is she quiet? Because his fucking mic that was pointed at his fucking head is not the one that was on. They've had that the shotgun, like I said, on the camera on it, and they haven't brought hers up yet. Look, again, I'm here doing this show by my fucking self. I made these graphics. I made these titles. I added the little things like the tip jar. I made the Venmo and the little square around it, and the shadow that comes off. He's just at the locals fucking office because Dave Rubin let them come over there. Motherfucker. Oh, you think you see a lapel mic on his jacket? Yeah, I feel like it's a shotgun. But either way, hers is off. Listen to this.
The place that we do that. So with that, I'm going to bring in my boss, Kimberly. Thank you, baby.
You're doing a great job.
Was that okay?
I absolutely love it.
It was like an hour rant, but like...
this is what you
Yeah, we're hearing her voice from his lapel mic.
do at home, and now everyone gets to see how I live.
Well, no, but
In darkness in front of giant logos while your husband talks to fucking no one.
listen, again, I said it earlier. I think it's so
Yeah, but repeat it because no one was listening.
important. Like, we actually need to engage, in this.
Wait. Somebody tried to bring the audio up. They don't know why the mic is down. And instead of wearing a fucking pair of headphones, they just started turning shit up, and there's like speakers. So listen to this. Listen to the echo.
Everyone gets to see how I live.
Well, no, but listen, again, I said it earlier. I think it's so important. Like, we actually need to engage, in this conversation. This, hey, it doesn't matter. I don't really follow politics. That's great. You're going to wake up one day. You're going to live in communist China.
Again, yeah, that's what, you're just going to fall asleep. You're going to wake up in communist China. And we need to discuss this because if we don't discuss it, you're going to just wake up in fucking communist China. Because it's like, and we talk about this all the time. And just like at home, my mic is on and your mic is off.
We're basically getting there.
It's not, and by the way, it's not reverb. It's not the sound of the room. Somebody's fucking speaker is turned up at a table. And again, if I run into problems and I end up having to fix them because I'm messing with software or a piece of hardware, and that's just on me, okay? I'm doing my best here. But when they've got a fucking crew. Do you think Don or Kimberly brought this fucking plant in? No.
You've heard me complain about this one a bunch, and
The echo? You're complaining about that part of it?
actually believe it, and I wish I didn't, because like before we got into politics, even sort of functioning at the high level where we did.
Yeah, you totally functioned at a high level in politics. You mean the part where she got paid to speak on January 6th and you didn't, and she lost like 3 fucking friends?
I sort of always believed all the tenets of, American freedom, and you can do. Honestly, so much of that is bullshit.
There you go. That's what it is. Don Jr. shit talks America. Because you can't offer unsolicited medical advice, or your father as president can't direct violence towards other people because as president, people will take him more seriously than they do the average citizen. And you cannot defame or libel someone, which you thought apparently you could get away with. And in many ways you could, because as the third generation rich kid fuck you were when your dad was on The Apprentice, people took it with a grain of salt. But once your dad's president and he can order drone strikes, people get a little fucking nervous. What is he saying? Nobody fucking knows.
It's controlled by others. They want you to believe that you have that freedom. And like, maybe you can do it.
I would like to remind you that this is the quality. A billionaire's fucking son. Do you have any idea what I could do with just the fucking cast-off money that these assholes have laying around production-wise? Are you out of your fucking mind?
And maybe, a guy like me can get away with a little bit more because I've already...
You can't. You cannot. A guy like you cannot get away with having a fucking beside one fern cable access show on fucking locals.
Created a large enough platform, but for the average person...
Created a large enough platform. Motherfucker, you don't even have a platform big enough for 3 chairs.
They've made it so hard to be able to get that voice out. And that's
But there's been an erosion of that over time.
Oh, it's even better. And by the way, she's not. Look, I sometimes will have an echo when I'm bringing somebody in as a guest from another place. She's right there in the fucking room. This is awful. This is fucking beautiful and awful.
I mean, we certainly saw when you see the juxtaposition of what we had, quite frankly, under President Trump, great presidents like Reagan, and what's happened to this country, and in such rapid order and succession. You never thought that it would go this far, this quickly, that now we have to fight for just basic rights. We have to fight for our daughters to be able to play sports and have, an equal, level playing field. Instead
Hey, they fixed it. There you go.
Somebody trying to
Somebody's like, there's a fucking echo. There's a fucking thing. Right.
steal it from them.
Baby, I gotta put this on pause.
They turned his mic off.
It went live, but no, I got on the logo.
so, guys. Check.
Jesus Christ. And then they flop the other mic. This is fucking torture. This is so fucking bad. Check your shit. Again, partly the stuff that I run into when I'm doing my show and the difficulties that I have are because I'm building this race car in the middle of a race. So I've been fucking changing the tires and replacing the headlights and fixing gaskets in the middle of the fucking race. That's not what this is. This is their debut goddamn show. They just a couple mics, couple chairs, fucking locals. That's how people know to find it. I'll put some notes down. What could be easier? I've seen other people be interesting. I can be interesting. The ego involved in this bullshit is, fucking. And the worst thing is they got to be out of there by the time the 8th grade AV club gets in.
Check and subscribe to the Locals platform. That's where we'll be able to interact, do a lot of the Q&A. So I'm actually just reading some of the comments from there right
You sound terrible. This is awesome, but you suck.
now. So definitely, like and subscribe to that. We'll do a bunch on Rumble as well, but the idea is to try to get as much sort of immersion in this. So maybe I kind of like the fish tank story because, Kim saved the weekend. It's not by the way, it's not a lesson I want to sort of give the kids, which is if they throw enough of a tantrum, they're actually going to win because it doesn't seem to work, but it does seem to work for Democrats. So, I think I've done a pretty.
Oh my God, just this. I could scream at my children, but I wish I could scream at Democrats. This is fucking torture. Until this motherfucker starts making clips, there is no reason to go back to that trough. Oh my God, what a waste of time. I don't know why they don't just call this fucking show Little Spats between Don and Kim. And again, Kimberly Guilfoyle, used to be married to Gavin Newsom and used to look relatively normal. Could have aged gracefully, I presume. But, wow. Wow, that's bad. Don Jr.'s inaugural episode of Triggered, one-word review, sucked. Oh my God. And again, what do you need? Jesus Christ. I get it when, when I've got comedy friends who go, we're going to start a podcast. And they're like, I don't know. They call me and they're like, hey man, what gear should I get? And I'm like, I'll run people through it. Do it all the time. Glad to do it. I'm not going to do it for them because fuck them. But I can talk you through it. I can get you all set up because I've been through it. I've chosen the right gear and the wrong gear enough times where I'm like, okay, this is the way you want to go. But at that level, they should have a guy who does what I do as a business going, it's podcasts or us. We'll get you hooked up with all this stuff and we'll have one of our guys run it. Audio will be perfect. Off you go. He's like $125 an hour for 2 hours. There are people that do that. You can get a fucking engineer who works at a rock club or a comedy club to come in and do your fucking podcast for $35. And they know what the fuck they're doing. This is just pathetic. I don't even know. And by the way, I would like to everybody to notice, 58 minutes in, he brings her in, and there's still fucking 40 minutes left in that show. Oh. And again, this is the son of the dude who best people, best words. Rich, best life. I had a great life. That's what his dad says all the time. But, you know, access to all the greatest things. All around the richest and classiest people. Honest to God, like the fact that they do this stuff on the cheap is more of an insult to the people they consider, you know, viewers. This goes to that like minimum viable product idea that like tech firms do, which is like you never wait until you have the perfect Galaxy phone, you know, from Android. You just put out the best one you can this year with the least amount of problems. And then the next year we'll fix some of that shit. And when the year after that, we'll make it better. And the year after that. But this is the minimum viable product we can put out at this time, which it still meets the standards that we have, but no more. Because this is as much as people need. People don't know they need these other features, and they're not right yet, so we'll work them in. Doing a fucking podcast is a well-oiled machine at this fucking part. And look at this. Look at this shit. The fuck? He didn't even have his own goddamn logo up. It's just the locals thing, because it's at one of their spaces. Honest to God, I don't even know. I mean, obviously we jumped through stuff, but I don't know what the fuck this show's for. You? Why? He spent a half hour at the top explaining, you know, his unique perspective and the necessity of this. No. This is fucking terrible. By the way, thank you, Brian and Melissa. Thank you for the super chats. And James and Bill Deacon, thanks for becoming a member. Larry, thank you for the super chat. It boils down to just say it so, and we're dumb enough to buy it. Kills me. Personally love the show. Oh, thank you. You would think Billionaire's son would have a multimedia console. Exactly. Or somebody would. For fuck's sake. I'm just amazed. I'm it's embarrassing to me. Like you guys know that I've dug in on a couple things, and I think it's grotesque. I thought it was grotesque. I used to think it was gross when Brandon House, the guy who runs Mike Lindell's Lindell TV, that he was picking Mike Pillow's pocket and obviously skimming because the place looks like shit. It's just low-res garbage. And then I stopped giving a fuck because Mike Pillow is a genuinely bad person. That said, at least fucking fake it well. Yeah. I cannot wait until they start pulling clips from that fucking show because it's going to be ass. It already is. But it's going to be specifically, it's going to be just an ongoing media travesty. By the way, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Hi, everybody. Hi, chat room. Hello. Thank you guys for being here. His dad had the nuclear football. Doesn't anymore, though. And he never will again. A real pro would want to be sure all the tech was working ahead of time right now. I know. Well, yeah, thanks, Wes. I get it. But a real pro who's launching a show because people just genuinely want... Like, when I started this show, I didn't know it was going to be an ongoing concern. I just started this because people were miserable. We were all in lockdown, and I was like, it's going to be okay, and I just want people to, you know, feel like there's a future coming, that they don't think the world is going to end and be all miserable. So I was like, I think I can contribute. That's why I started the show. Meanwhile, this motherfucker's like, people want to hear every word that comes out of Don Jr.'s mouth because Don Jr., Don's the guys, Don's the we need to do what I do in 3 minutes long form, which is not even something Kimberly believes.